Welcome back, my great friends, and thank you for joining me today as we dive into another fascinating and unbelievable journey into the world of rare American coins, unexpected mint errors, hidden details, and the incredible stories behind ordinary-looking pieces of metal that can turn into fortunes. Today's video is all about a coin that appears so simple, so common, so overlooked, that most people would never imagine it could hold secrets capable of transforming its tiny face value into something astronomically high. And that coin is the Liberty $1/4 from the year 1985 with the Denver Mint mark, the 1985 D-quarter, a coin that people hold every day without paying attention, yet one specific piece with extraordinary minting mistakes, unusual striking abnormalities, rare die conditions, and long-lost production anomalies is believed by some collectors to hold a theoretical value so staggering that it sparks curiosity, amazement, disbelief, and excitement every time its story is told. So sit comfortably, relax, and let's explore the unbelievable tale behind an ordinary 25-cent coin that could be worth a mind-bending $237,000 million in the rarest, most extreme hypothetical scenario that collectors often discuss for understanding the potential magnitude of error coin possibilities. When we talk about the 1985 D Liberty quarter, the first thing to remember is that this was a common circulating coin, struck in the Denver Mint in very high numbers, used in daily transactions. Passed around in pockets, vending machines, cash registers, banks, and stores all across America. Nobody walking around in 1985, or in the decades after, could have imagined that one of these quarters, just one, could hold a value so unbelievable that it would completely defy the idea of what a modern circulating product could ever be worth. But that is the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes history, chance, human error, mechanical glitches, and the unique conditions inside the mint all work together in rare, unpredictable ways to create something so unusual that the coin becomes an object of intense fascination, speculation, desire, and mystery. To understand how a 1985 D-quarter could theoretically reach an unimaginable value, we must first explore what error coins actually are and how they emerge. When coins are minted, thousands of them are produced every minute. Machines strike blanks with enormous force, dies wear out, temperature conditions shift, metal strips arrive with imperfections, and alignment is not always perfect. Mistakes, unexpected, unplanned, unintended, can occur. And while most mistakes are minor and result in coins being recycled or destroyed, some slip through undetected. These survivors become hidden treasures, often unnoticed for years until a knowledgeable collector finally recognizes the unusual characteristics. And when we talk about the 1985 D-quarter's hypothetical ultra-value, the conversation centers around the rarest possible categories of errors, the kinds that are nearly impossible to replicate, the types that combine multiple minting problems in one coin, the rare fusion of anomalies that would make any coin instantly legendary. These are the dramatic double strikes with full misalignment, the off-metal compositions that should never have been used, the die cap errors that distort the entire shape of the coin, the broad strikes that push the metal far beyond the collar, the mule errors combining mismatched dies from different designs, the struck-through debris mistakes that leave deep patterns across the surface, and the unique conditions where multiple errors occur together on the same piece. These are the types of minting accidents collectors talk about when trying to express how certain coins, under the most extraordinary circumstances, could reach values that sound unrealistic but illustrate the importance of rarity and uniqueness. Now imagine the 1985 D-quarter not as a regular coin, but as one that somehow survived with a combination of extreme and almost impossible errors, what collectors sometimes call a super error or monster error. This is where the imagined value of $237,000 million comes into the conversation. Not because such a coin has ever been sold for that amount, but because in numismatic discussions, extreme hypothetical valuations help highlight how dramatically rare mint errors can reshape the worth of something that usually costs just 25 cents. These theoretical values show how far the imagination can stretch when analyzing a coin that possesses characteristics no other coin has ever displayed. So let's begin building the full picture. Think of a coin struck on the wrong planchet, an extremely rare bronze, silver, or foreign coin blank accidentally fed into the press. A wrong planchet error is already a major rarity. But imagine that coin also being double struck, and not just lightly, but with the second strike overlapping half of the first, completely shifting Lincoln's profile or the eagle design or the date and mint mark into distorted yet sharply visible unusual positions. Now, add the possibility that the second strike happened outside the collar, allowing the metal to spread outwards, giving the coin a broad, stretched look that immediately indicates something is wrong, but we're not done. Imagine the dies used to strike the coin were already worn down, producing a ghost-like doubling effect known as die deterioration doubling, mixed with the mechanical doubling from the machine's vibration. Imagine the Denver mint mark punched slightly off its usual location, maybe tilted, maybe lightly doubled, maybe showing remnants of an over-punched mint mark that was never supposed to happen. Now, imagine that somehow the obverse die came from a completely different series, something that would create a mule error, one of the rarest errors in American mint history. A mule is when the front and back of a coin do not belong together. These are extremely rare, and when discovered, they instantly become valuable. But imagine combining a mule error with a wrong planchet, a broad strike, a double strike, a die cap, and a mint mark anomaly all in one coin. That is the kind of theoretical, ultra-hypothetical scenario the numismatic world imagines when trying to explain how the 1985 D Liberty quarter could be valued at $237,000 million in discussions that explore possibilities rather than recorded auction realities. The story is not about a real sale but about the excitement that rare coins generate, the mystery that surrounds minting anomalies, and the awe collectors feel when they uncover something extraordinary. But the story doesn't end with just identifying what could make the coin valuable. We also have to go deeper into the possibilities that collectors love to analyze. The Denver Mint, for example, was known for producing high volumes of coins in the 1980s, often working at rapid speed to meet national demand. With the pressure of mass production, even the smallest mechanical issue could lead to unexpected results. Dies could misalign. Planchets could jam. Metal strips could vary in thickness. Dies could clash without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly images imprinted onto the die and then transferred onto the next coin. A die clash is already a collectible feature, but imagine it being extreme, so dramatic that it produces clear overlapping outlines of the reverse on the obverse or vice versa. Collectors also discuss the possibility of a late-stage die break, like a major cud error, a large portion of the die cracking and breaking away, leaving massive raised blobs of metal on the coin. A cud that covers part of the date or mint mark instantly transforms the coin from a common strike into a highly unusual one. But imagine a cud so large that half the design disappears, creating a surreal, incomplete yet fascinating piece of numismatic art. Such a coin, especially if combined with other errors, becomes an object of great fascination. There is also the matter of unique metal composition. A few rare U.S. coins were struck accidentally on foreign blanks, and these usually become extremely valuable because their metal content and weight differ from what the U.S. Mint intended for that year. Imagine discovering that the 1985 D quarter had been struck on an experimental metal during a testing phase, a blank that was never meant for circulation and somehow escaped the mint. All of these possibilities help explain why people imagine extraordinary values for coins like this. The story is not just about money, it is about rarity, uniqueness, history, and the unpredictable nature of minting. And when collectors talk about values as high as $237,000 million, they are not describing realistic market prices but rather illustrating the extreme potential if the rarest combinations of events came together to produce a one in hundreds of millions coin. Now imagine the journey of such a coin. Perhaps it was minted unintentionally during a shift where the machines were being recalibrated. Perhaps a foreign planchet was accidentally mixed into the domestic batches. Perhaps the dies had not been properly aligned, and the collars were temporarily removed for maintenance. Maybe the mint workers never spotted the abnormal strike because the error occurred at a moment when the machine was running at full speed, producing hundreds of coins per minute. That one extraordinary quarter might have slipped into a bag with thousands of ordinary ones, shipped to a distribution center, then to a bank, then to a store.